think the biggest thing too is clarity, right? So for anyone that showed up late, right, or not late, but it's 11 o'clock, so we're going to get this started, right? The main goal and purpose of this webinar today is to really break down a new tool me and Darren are using, right? It's these EMA clouds, right? And like I just said before, right, the biggest thing I want to focus on here is what our principle and precept of HBT really is identify market conditions and adapt to them, right? So this literally means, right, we're not looking for, a certain specific, thing to happen to put on a trade, right? More or less, my goal every day is to identify who's in control of the market and trade with them, right? Like that's not, oh, I must trade open print every trade. That's not, oh, I must only trade PDH. It's no, what's happening at these levels and how can I use the information I'm looking at to put on higher probability setups, right? And that's what these clouds really do. Like Darren just said, it's another tool, right? And in this webinar today, I really want to break down how it was used this week, right, and how it really helped me, right? Because and don't just take our word for it, right? Do your back testing, right? Like literally, Darren didn't even bring this to me until he done like a month of back testing on this and was like, yo, I think we might have something here, right? And then like we started talking about it, and then the biggest thing is like going through your journal, right? Like I literally just went from every trade I took from January, from January 1st, right? I just started, I'm like on month 3 already, but it's like I go through every losing trade I took, and more importantly, I go through every winning trade I took and go, how did this winning trade line up, right? And it's wild because you'll look at some of your best trades you had, like some nice trends that you caught, like we were able to this week, and just be blown away at how trading the cloud just makes it a little bit easier. It just adds that little confluence there, right, to really help you understand, right? Like this was a trade I took this week off open print, right? So one thing I want to point out here, right, is what the cloud did for me is notice it's going to tell you the trend, right? It's going to tell you the overall trend. It's going to tell you like what direction. I think we use the word momentum, right, Darren? It's going to kind of give you an idea. Like that, yeah, it's going to give you an idea of who's currently moving the market in the stronger way, right? So you get selling off open print. Cool. Right? We don't just short this, right? We're looking for, there's a couple reasons I want it. We're far away from the 9, right? And we're far away from the critical level, right? And, to really be clear here, the reason we trade the critical levels is A, they provide a great place for you to stop out if you're wrong. But B is whoever can control the critical level usually holds the conditions of the market because of all the volume and liquidity that's at the level. Right, so you can see we rip into OP here. We start to dance around with it. Notice I'm not getting any clean retest. I'm not getting any structure here off the cloud. So until the cloud turns green, I'm gonna stay bearish, and that really helped me here, right? Because I mean, at one point, this candle, Darren, this was green, right? Like when this candle first opened, it was green, and it looked like a great long play. You know what I'm saying?
Well, dude, no. Well, at least for me, these clouds do not work at all unless I understand the story on the higher time frame. Like, if you don't know the higher time frame,
correct,
just looking at the 5-minute chart, you're going to confuse the fuck out of yourself, and you're going to not know when to take, when to even consider a short setup. Like, there's
correct
times when if you're not near any of the zones from higher time frames, you should not be even looking at the market. You should wait until it comes into the zone and then watch these clouds,
yeah,
to kind of tell you what to do.
Yeah.
I had my level from pre-market high, and there was also a supply zone on Friday at 498.
Yep.
And that's the only reason that I was watching what happened when the cloud turned red. And I would have needed, that thing to turn green and to retest the top of it.
Yeah, right, correct. Absolutely, and that's that 1 hour. The 1 hour time frame, right, is literally like, and that 498 level, 49855, really helped me go through the bullish and bearish scenario, right? I'm bullish above, I'm bearish below, right? Like, and until I see acceptance above this level, right? Well, why? It's because it's structure, right? And using those daily time frames as well helps me so much. Like, you'll see I'm literally grabbing this level right here from the low of 418, right? So we got that low. We played with it Friday, right? We took shorts off that level Friday. And now we're coming back up into that 49855 level. And you can see it was right there at that 50 as well. But yeah, so this is in my pre-market analysis is going to be okay. I want to see maybe a move down to EOD, or if we find acceptance above this level, I want to target PDH, and then I want to target for a 504, right? So level to level. And that's one thing we've been doing really good at is like, okay, it's structure, just structure on the larger time frame. I mean, look, you could see price literally rips down below OP, comes up, we start to battle with it, and I wasn't ready for longs until we got above 498, right? So our 49855, and then you could see sellers end up taking OP, presents a great short play to the downside, right? Comes down, rips right into like this cloud, bro. It's insane. It's disgusting. Look at this. Bro, it's insane. And this is what the cloud really does for me, because the old Josh, right, would be like, okay, I have low a day right here. I want to see bearish conditions hold low of day to continue to end of day, right? I maybe would have took this short, bruv. Look at this. Break below low of day, tags the 9, bro. This is a great short play. This is a fire short play, bro. This is not a trade I'd be opposed to whatsoever. This meets all my previous criteria. It really does. And then bam, you come up, rips up, and this is a big thing. It's a really big thing. It's really helped me avoid that, right? And now look, we get back above the 9, right? And this is the thing, I still use the 9 on every trade. I still use every critical level on every trade. But what we're doing is implementing another tool to help you trade with the trend. You know what I mean? This is a really good short play right here. And then that just lined up for a beautiful other play. Darren, didn't you? Okay, so Darren, walk us through how you traded this, dude. Look at this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I got that supply zone straight from the 5-minute time frame on Friday.
Yes.
And like you said, we got it from Thursday, the daily time frame before. Friday, we wicked into it, and so it lined up perfectly with pre-market high on Monday morning.
Yeah.
And we got selling in that area. I'm like, all right, this thing's gonna drop a little bit, possibly go down to previous day low, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna follow the EMA cloud.
Yeah.
So I shorted it. I took some profits. And then, I stopped
great
out
play, dude.
As soon as we crossed back above it, and I did get back, a certain amount of profits on that trade. It was still a green trade.
Yeah, it just missed EOD.
But my thing was, we have to start to learn what it looks to be extended from the cloud. And I mean,
for profit, yeah.
I wrote in my journal that I could have done better this week is if you're extended and you're anywhere near your target, which was end of day. I think that pink line is end of day.
Right here.
You need to be taking 60 to 80% of your position and have very, very small runners.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah. Lock it in.
You got to lock that in.
Yep.
And I think that was my mistake. I think I had 50% of my position still running here.
Yeah.
Which is why, it didn't end up to be as big of a winner.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. But still, let me ask you this: where was your I don't want to use the word confidence, but where was your conviction when you, or how did you feel when you seen price rip into that cloud? Walk me kind of through your entry process with using the cloud here.
Okay, so the one thing that's changed in my entries is that I'm willing to let my trade go past 30%. And the only reason that I can actually do that is because the win rate on this setup is so high.
Yeah.
It's over 75%.
Right.
And so I'm able to,
assume more risk.
Those losing trades go past 30%. And so basically, I actually had an incredible entry. As soon as we basically, I want to say halfway down that wick.
Pre-market, yeah. Right.
So halfway down that wick is where I entered, and my stop was breaking above
the wick.
If we closed above that.
Yeah.
Then I'm getting out.
So.
And I did not use a hard stop. I had my finger on the market sell.
Right.
All of my contracts. 100%
right.
of the contracts I was going to sell if we closed above that
level.
And man, it's stressful in that way just because you don't have a stop loss. But the only way that I'm able to do it is with the win rate that this strategy gives me.
And I think what I'm hearing though is that you're trading a story that's in front of you really well. You're going, listen, you've done the back testing, right? You're like, listen, I understand this win rate. This trading the cloud like this works very well. And how you're trading it, so you're willing to accept more risk, which is fine, right? Because your reward is there, your equation's still present, right? You're not just throwing your equation out the window. You're adjusting it, you're tuning it. That's the goal. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's the
Yep.
purpose right there. That's what'd you say to me Friday? If you do the same thing over and over, you're gonna get the same results. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so if
Like,
you do what you've always done, you're
yeah,
gonna get what you've always got.
yeah,
The only reason I was so confident in this setup is because I understood what was happening on higher time zones.
hmm,
Honestly, that's it. If
yeah,
that wasn't there, I
yeah,
never would have been as
yeah,
confident in taking that thing,
yeah.
right off the 20 like I did.
Yeah. So yeah, seeing that supply zone get rejected. Yeah.
Another
Absolutely,
thing
bro.
I've done in my journal this week is I just like type out, not necessarily speaking on specific price levels, but in my journal, in my OneNote every single morning, I just write down like, earnings was this week. I suspect that if earnings are good, it's going to cause the market to, stop this downtrend. Maybe we'll have some days of buying. I'll just like talk through like where the market's at, but I won't necessarily like refer to specific price levels. And then after I've written out this general idea of what I think the market's going to be doing this week, what it has been doing, then I go through and I look and I pull these levels and I come up with my if then pre-market
Yeah.
plan
Yeah.
scenarios. And I feel like that's been helping me a lot this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's keeping you really in tune, dude. And it's definitely yeah, just being aware, right, and just journaling. I mean, dude, look at the OP rejection we got here on SBX. It was beautiful. That's another thing that helps me out a lot, right? Like, just using the level, understand, and that's what the cloud really does for me, right? Like, I still watch all my levels, my pin numbers, right?
Oh yeah.
I still am looking for structure, but where when price used to do this, right? And we would be like, okay, I'm getting a break and retest off OP. Sometimes you'll be like, yeah, but how do I know sellers are going to take it, right? And it's not about knowing; it's about having a higher probability of trading with who's in control. That's what the cloud does for me. It really helps me go, listen, we're in a downtrend. I know this because we're below these 9 and 20s, but more or less it's red. It's a very simple visual. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be complicated. That's the biggest thing. It doesn't have to be complicated. The cloud is red, look for short. Like, that's literally how I've been looking at it, right? And I don't know, maybe that'll change, maybe it won't. But based on the back testing that I've done, this is it's just kind of gives you that extra, like it causes me to less complicate it. And when you do that, you save energy for other decisions you're going to need to make, right? Like, if I'm over here worried about, listen, do I go long? Do I go short? What if it's a fake out? What if it's a okey doke? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, I've missed the move, and now I'm getting in down here. And now my risk reward's all screwed, right? So, like, it's just, it really helped me there in that way as well.
Yeah, another thing I like on this left-hand chart, how you have that little break and retest marked out with those two circles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Those two
Look
circles.
at that.
You know what? You know what's crazy?
That's
Those are actually my
disgusting.
two entries,
Yeah.
one short and one long. But
Yeah.
what I want to point out is both break and retest.
Yeah.
So the thing is, when you're using this strategy, do not think that it's just the EMA cloud that you're using.
Yeah.
You've built years
Well put.
of skills in
Yes.
understanding what a break and retest looks like,
Yes.
what a higher high looks like, what weakness, what weak sellers look like. And don't throw that all out the window and just look at the EMA cloud. You're gonna fuck
Yes.
yourself up. You gotta
Yes.
use all of those skills that you've built in
Yes.
conjunction with the EMA cloud.
Yes.
And that was the biggest thing. As I was backtesting, I realized, like, okay, this thing has a really, really high win rate. I'm very susceptible to just believing what the cloud is telling me. And I'm like, no, I've built skills. Do not throw them out the window.
Right.
Use your other skills like break,
Yes.
retest, weakness.
Use them all together.
You
Yeah.
have to continue to use these all together.
Yes.
And that's a perfect example of this.
I
Early
did
entry right
not
here.
see that. I didn't even see that, Darren. That is remarkable. It's all the sellers that went short here are getting stopped out here. Disgusting. It's disgusting. Look at that. It's
I
literally.
remember in my mind
Look at
I
this.
wanted to take this long. Yeah, I wanted to take this long, and in my mind I'm thinking, oh, what if these sellers at high of the day are coming back in?
Yeah.
This is a double top.
Yeah.
And then I looked and I said, okay, we've got a higher high. Okay, so that is we got a
Yeah.
higher
Right
high.
here.
Gives
Yep.
me some bullish indication. And the way we ripped up off of previous day low area,
Yeah.
that told me something. And then finally that break and retest that we saw, off those previous sellers.
I gave it
And
to you.
then the cloud was there.
Yes.
It's like, boom.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, that actually, that'll keep you from a short play as well, right? If I'm looking for a short play here and the cloud is green, I'm going to stay away from it only because I'm not trying to really fight the overall trend. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and listen, if I do want to fight the overall trend, I'm going to be hyper aware of where I need to get out of it, which I don't fight overall trend. I don't. That's not what I want to do. I found mega revelation in trading with the conditions of the market. Just want to put that out there because but on the flip, just once again, be aware of the power this little cloud's going to hold and what it takes to actually change trend. And when something like this does happen, right, like right here, when trend actually changes, right, like, and it's got to be mixed with a bunch of different things, right? But just understand this is a sign of strength. What do you need to see to understand it's going to be a reversal, right? Because there's going to be times. I mean, Darren did it perfectly on Friday where he longed the switch in trend, and
Yes.
the criteria was there.
That's another thing that you. I mean, obviously, we'll show you.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
yeah.
But you have to understand when it's appropriate to
Yes.
cross, the
Yes.
cross, right when it's turning green, and when it's appropriate to wait for
Yes.
the retest.
Yes.
And that all has to do with the conditions of each individual
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And
Right.
right, like yeah.
Dude, I just want to throw it out there, Darren. This was an amazing trade, bro. I was so pumped. You literally grabbed, I think, most of this, if not all of it. I was blown away.
I held until
I was blown.
1:30 exactly.
Animal, bro.
I could have gotten there, but
Listen,
I was really happy.
yeah, that was just disgusting, bro. I was just really blown away. And this is the thing, I'm seeing a lot of that in my trading and yours with using these clouds. I know holding is a big problem for probably 90% of traders. So once again, I love the way the cloud really helps me because if I'm trading with the trend, this cloud really reminds me that to switch to a short play, I need to see a pretty significant change in conditions in this environment. So with that being said, why get out? You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff we'll go over there, but and obviously we don't, we're still building this relationship with it. So there's a lot of stuff we still need to figure out. But yeah, I was blown away. That was an amazing trade. I was just like, I was just blown away.
I look back at my journal. It's still the number one mistake. So on all my winning trades, the number one mistake I made, or whatever, what I could have done better, is holding profits longer.
Yeah.
And even though I've been averaging 1 to 3, sometimes 1 to 4.
Yeah.
Even then,
Yeah.
you need to hold
Yeah.
profits longer.
And you know what this is going to introduce, Debo? Adding. We're going to get amazing at adding to trades. I mean, this day was a perfect example. I hit this trend over on 3 different trades. And I want to get into it, right? And in my mind, I feel like I traded it wrong because, and I don't want to say the word wrong because I did very well this day and I locked in a lot of profit, but I see room for improvement, right? And that's one thing I want to get into, right? But let's go through with adding, right? That's I caught this in 3 different ways, but I'm trying to become the trader that doesn't just book profit. Maybe he adds to his positions in a different way, right? So, but this lined us up for a beautiful day. I knew going into pre-market that we were gonna have great opportunity this day, right? So that was Monday, right? This led us into Tuesday. So this is why, once again, I love the levels, because they just paint these pictures that literally help you understand the story. I don't know, it probably comes with experience, etc. But when you start to be able to see, let me just label this right, because PDH was a really big indicator this day. But when you start to view the market in a structural manner, right, there's only a few things that can happen. You're either going to break PDH and go up to 50423, and then, what is it, 50540, right? Or PDH isn't going to, our buyers aren't going to hold it, and you're going to come back down to EOD and maybe back down to 49855, right? So that's how my mind is viewing the pre-market plan. I mean, okay, I'm very bullish above PDH, and there's a bunch of reasons. I mean, one of the biggest ones was this 498 level was defended one day. You know, structure was being broke on higher time frames, right? So in my mind, I'm going, okay, what do I need to see to continue to trade with buyers? All right. What I love seeing off the rip, let me make this bigger, was buyers were holding the 9 on the 1 hour. And the cloud. Look at that, Debo. Like selling into the cloud, into the cloud, into the cloud. Buyers kept holding it, right? So going into PDH, going into the morning bell, I was relatively bullish. Okay, so now comes the $1 million question. How do I know buyers are going to defend this? And the answer is we don't know. Look at this, dude. We got a supply zone, which is PDH, and we get a bearish candle coming off it. Bro, like that's the old Josh double top drop. I was in this short, heavy contracts. This, like the old me, dude, would be shorting this every single day. But now, through understanding structure, right, like with breaking that 49855, I now have a more clear understanding that, hey, listen, bearish conditions were broken on larger time frames, are starting to be broke. Do I want to put all my money, or do I want to put do I want to put on a trade betting sellers are going to come in because one wick? No. Instead, I'm going to go, what's happening off the critical level, and how is price reacting to the cloud, right? Now, open print, right? You get a little selling off the rip. Once again, the old Josh, maybe I short the OP retest. Now, I'm not going to short into the cloud. It doesn't make sense to me. It's very easy to distinguish that. So, A, you miss taking a losing trade, right? Just because it's OP and price ripped below it. It's coming up to retest it. And you can see there's a wick there, meaning sellers tried right there. But you can also see buyers defended the cloud. This thing rips above PDH. And I'll show you guys on the 2-minute because I took this using the 2-minute time frame. Let me see here. I got SPX right over here. PDH. I mean, bro, it was to a T right here, right? We break above, and dude, yeah, what'd you say Friday, Darren? I loved it. The old me would have automatically assumed we were going to get a gap fill, right? So rip into supply, start to reject, right? But instead of being biased to a gap fill, right? Price rips above. You can see comes down for this really nice retest right here. Oh, hold on. Where's my 2-minute? I got rid of it. Hold on. Okay. Boom. Comes down. Tags PDH very well. And then using the cloud, right, I was able to go, hey, listen, I'm going to long this, right? If I see any buying above the close of this candle, right? Like I'm gonna long this and put my stop below this candle, right? I was completely fine with that, or maybe even lower because now I'm taking my entries are so much better. The old Josh would have needed to see us close above this candle, taking along here, and this literally is $5 move, bro, on SPX. That's literally 35-40% that I'm not getting because I need to see strength off the you know what I'm saying? Like this is the old stuff I used to do. I'd be like, okay, price comes in. I'm not just gonna long it. I need at least one green candle. Yeah, this is $4. This is a $5 candle on SPX. You're missing out on a lot of money right here. And not only that, now my stop has to be below PDH. So now I'm risking $7, where usually I only risk 4 or 5, right? So once again, using that cloud really helped me. I'll show you guys over here on the SPY chart. It just gave me that extra like, listen, confidence where, I mean, look at this, dude. Rips right into the cloud, right into PDH, long, stop below, got a beautiful move to the upside, right? So, and then it was just this thing just wouldn't stop. It just literally,
Well, it's important to say that the 2 minute cloud is different than the 5 minute
right.
cloud, and it all depends. Like I use the 5 minute one. You can use whichever one you want, whichever one works. But I I mean yeah, that was a bad trade. That
Yeah,
was a bad trade. I
yeah.
didn't get into the 5 minute never touched. I just didn't want to switch to the 2 minute, and I was being a little bitch.
That's why you're my boy.
Never touched.
That's why you're
That's
my
why I was
boy.
saying.
That's why you're my boy,
Yeah.
bro. Listen, yeah, and that was it, right? It tagged it, it took it long, and then the market continued to hold the cloud very well. And yeah, Darren, I also very rarely use that. Um, and but more or less, right? I think it's just understanding how it works, and and just putting on risk, right? Like, it's so important. So often I go, no, I could only do this, I could only do this, right? And like in reality, it's like, listen, great opportunity, I can manage risk. Price continued to hold the 9 very well. Once again, the cloud presented a great opportunity for me here. Price rips up right into our target, right? Look at how it blows through 504.23. I did not hold this trade as long as I wanted to. It was fluctuating back and forth like crazy. And once again, that's probably me being a little bitch as well. And that's one thing I'm also working on, right? And getting more familiar with how price holds the cloud as well as the 9. And I mean, I think me and Novak were just talking about it too. There's nothing wrong with locking in your equation, right? If you are putting on trades and you're locking in your if you're trading 1-to-1 risk reward, or 1-to-2, or 1-to-3, right? Whatever it is, if you're locking them in, don't ever feel bad about getting out early. Everyone's always at a different part of their trading. I think that's so important to say. Like, sometimes you may need to work on holding trades longer, right? We all go through that. Sometimes you got to take profits, right? So it depends on where you're at as a trader. Um, but yeah, this we ripped up right to our level, right to the next level. We come down, and what I love about this is the old Josh would have been like, dude, red candle, broke the 9. I wouldn't have shorted this, but I would have been very bearish. And now, once again, the cloud's very green. I want to see buyers react here. And then I got another beautiful entry on this long, because price comes into this, and I use the 1 hour time frame here as well, right? And this is how you're going to see, like, all of our, hold on, let me get rid of this. Like, everything we use, like, look at look at the 1 hour here, bro. Right? Like, when price ripped up to 50526, I'm like, okay, it makes hella sense here for a pullback to the 9, right? Like, if it happened, like, I don't want to long this until price at least comes back to the 9 on the 1 hour, right? And that's literally what I did. I waited for price to come back to the 9, comes back to the 9, and then once again, I'm going, we've been holding the 9 on the 1 hour, so there's no reason to assume it's going to reverse. So I was able to put on another really good long, targeting this left shoulder here, right? So I literally took price right up in there, took my profits, and then once again, price comes down, tags that level once again, gives us some really good buying right here, and I longed it right back up into that same level, right? So I was really pumped. I love trading days like this. It was a really good day.
Yeah, I joined you on that on that first entry where we came back from the cloud right there. Bam.
Boom.
That's where I got in. And another thing I've been noticing with this cloud is, so I stopped out the next time I stopped out in the worst possible place.
Oh, yes, yeah, it happens.
Yeah, that
It's
was
still.
painful. But what I've noticed is if the cloud is green, you can put your stop loss like below your entry, and since the cloud is green, that means it's going
Going
up,
up, yes.
and that means that the lower, like, you're very likely to get a higher low in a scenario where the cloud is still green. And if it's not green, you're anyway stopping out. But if the cloud is still green, you're probably going to be above your entry point, and you should put your stop below your entry point.
Yes.
And I don't know what I was really thinking and why I had my stop so tight.
Yeah.
But I kind of fucked that.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's what I looked in my journal.
Yeah, and that's what you learned.
Uptrend.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I should have stayed in that, but that's the thing. I took a losing trade here, and it skewed my results a little bit for the EMA CLOUD. Like technically, that was still
Yeah.
could have been a winning
Yeah.
trade.
Yeah.
But it looks like a red on my
Yeah.
statistics, so it is what it is.
Yeah, and that's really good awareness to see that. You know what I mean? And that's big, bro. To understand what, like you just said, you're not gonna go, oh, I don't like using this because this red trade. You're going, oh, did I follow my strategy properly? So you know what I mean?
Yep.
That right there is what it takes. Constantly. This day was this dude. Look at this, dude. And this is really big right here. I love this. Because you're gonna see, right? Like, hold on, let me do this real quick. Too much stuff going on over here. Move.
Oh, this was an amazing play.
Yeah,
Wow.
this was disgusting right here. This day. End of day was beauteous. Let me take a look right here real quick. Hold on. This was 424.
This day came completely from the higher time frame.
Yeah.
Futures, ES higher time frame, like 30-minute, and SPY 30-minute. This is the reason I was bearish today, or on this day.
Dude, I'm like all the way back. This is what I love about backtesting, dude. I'm like months back in my journal. Dude, what'd you say to me, Darren? The answer's in your journal. Every single time. Oh, bro, I had a fire trade right here off end of day. This was, dude, once again, this is the cloud. This right here, dude, so this one right here, this wasn't exactly a perfect retest of the cloud, but I still used it to determine the momentum. And this is where like the fluidness of trading is critical. And this is where using all your different your different tools is gonna be your best friend, right? So it displayed strong patience, right over here. 1 hour, I literally write in my journal, 1 hour time frame presented me a great entry over here, and what I'm talking about is this level, this 50567. Okay, so let me see, 50567. No, yes, that's end. Oh, yeah, okay, so that's end of day. Okay, so oh no, this was it. So you guys see my chart? All right, so my chart on the right here, you're gonna see this is how I viewed it this day. So we have this 50423 level, and we're way above it. And then in pre-market, we were coming up to 508, which was another really important level that we'll get to later, that we played with later in the week. So in my mind, I'm going, okay, in pre-market, I need to see strength at end of day to target 50823. If we do not get strength, meaning no bullish structure, meaning no bullish chart pattern, right? Meaning bearish chart pattern, bearish structure, I want to short targeting 50423. This was literally I was so proud of this day, right? So you're going to see, and this is where using market structure isn't just for entries, it's for targets as well. Because these levels, these areas of structure, once again, they hold a lot of volume, right? So price gravitates to these levels. It's almost like a magnet, right? Now, also notice here, the 9 DMA on the 1 hour, we tried to get above it, and we couldn't. We literally closed below it, right? So now I break down to the 5 minute, right? I noticed bullish structure couldn't hold. This pre-market level could not hold, right? So now I'm going, okay, at what point did I want to short the market? Look at this off open print. It's disgusting. Can't believe I missed it. It's all good. Well, no, that's why I missed it. I missed this off open print. I wasn't quite ready to fight 50567. That's still an amazing entry. But I missed that, didn't take it. Once again, wasn't really that worried about it. Price comes down below end of day, comes up to the 9, right? We come into the 9. I take the market short here. My stop is going to be right probably at this candle. I'm going to give it a little bit, at least to the cloud, but more or less to the previous low of day. Caught a beautiful move down to 50422, which I was able to scale out at too. So this was a fire trade. Darren, didn't you catch this off open print?
Yeah.
You fucking
Yeah.
animal. You animal.
Got, let's see. Here's what actually, there's something weird to me happened this day, and I initially got short on the 955 candle because we crossed all of the moving averages, and I was anticipating some kind of selling, or I was waiting until I saw confirmation for selling. And so I actually got stopped out when we came back up because I did not like how, that cloud didn't hold.
Right.
I really wanted to see sellers defend that cloud. I mean, maybe it doesn't have to defend it exactly, but just the way that we ripped back up.
Yeah. It's scary. Yeah, absolutely.
And so I stopped out. But the thing, again, is we got a lower high. And just like the other scenario where I should have, where we had a higher low on the previous example, I should have stayed in this trade as long as we had a lower high. Although that is a lot of risk.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. Yeah, that's more than $1.
That's why I didn't do it. And
Yeah.
then once we came back below, I saw the aggressive selling on that candle. Like when it was like, that next candle was engulfing that green one. So I was like, all right, this just shaked me out. And then on that pullback is where I got in.
Yeah, that's beautiful right there.
And that's where
I think it's cool. It's cool too to notice the cloud's green here, right? So like, and I don't know. I'm still learning a lot about it. Maybe that's a sign that it's conditions really haven't completely switched. Maybe it's not. I don't know, right? But really good job with taking the L, hopping back in.
So you have to look at the statistics. But when the cloud is green and we're closing. And we're going through all 3 moving averages. Like, so I have another one. I don't know why. I use the 50 and as a red one, and so basically price crossed above the cloud and the 50 EMA. And when it does that, it has a much higher likelihood of the reversal actually happening.
Yeah.
Versus just crossing the cloud,
right,
still being above the red 50 EMA.
Right.
And so once I saw that, that was the reason that I got in the trade.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, it still looks like buyers are trying and losing it too. But yeah, that was a fire play right there off OP.
But can you zoom out to the higher time frames? Can you zoom out to like maybe, I want to say, the 30, or even the 1 hour?
Yeah, here's the 30 right here.
Well, the zones I'm talking about came from the 16th of April, the 15th,
Yeah.
16th, and 17th.
Yeah.
3 days. 3 days we rejected.
Yeah. This level right here. Yep, I see it. Boom.
Yeah. 3 days we rejected that level.
Yeah.
And if we see any sort of selling in that area, I'm looking to I'm looking to take that short.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
I don't know why it looks so different on yours. Why does it look like price went way above that level?
Yeah, it's all good. That's still a good play right there. Buyers tried. It's off OP. And you got stomped out, and then you re-entered, bro. It's fire. It's a great play. It's a really good play. I love how it literally rips all the way right down to the level of structure. Once again, that 1 hour structure is like it's just beautiful. Yeah, and then right here you're gonna see it off the same exact level. Price comes down, rips above it, retests. All the averages cross over, and this thing just rallies right back up too OP. I just love looking at it, guys. Burn this into your mind as much as possible. How these, because this is the sort of stuff that's going to help you stay in trades as well. I didn't trade any of this. That was a one and done for me right there. I locked everything I needed in right there. I had to go take care of other things. But check this out. I mean, price literally rips right back above the level and soars all the way back up to 50567 and then 50655, right? So, just learn to see it and focus on it. It's literally, its structure is literally the game changer. Okay, let's see here. Set this next day up. Oh, okay. All right, so next day we got this mega sell-off, right? And once again here, I'm using the previous levels, right? Price comes all the way down, back on the 1 hour, right? So going into Thursday, I'm going any strength above PDH. I want to target up there. Oh, my bad. Then we continue to sell off, right? And this is where you got to keep your eye on these previous end of days as well, right? You're going to see this 4997 level, right? So we sell off, we sell off, we sell off. We're below previous end of day. This kept me from a long too. This was a really good day. So I initially shorted this open print retest. Just like we were talking about, we're in a downtrend. We sell off below OP. The old Josh would have probably been a little hesitant to this, only due to the fact, that conflicting belief we were talking about, Darren, with the gap fill, right? We got such a large gap down. I don't want to short the market any further, right? Well, we got a great play right here off open print. You're going to see price sells off, comes right back into it, and then I caught a really nice move down here. Comes down. I don't think that was PDL. No, it wasn't. So this was one of those trades where you have to be able to, because my downside target was much lower. So you have to be ready to, once again, lock in your risk reward. Not every trade's going to be picture perfect. Not every trade's going to hit your target. If you go into any trade, even assuming that's going to happen, you're gonna find yourself giving back a lot of your profits, right? So I was able to lock in a really good move down here. Price rips up, comes above open print, and I really wanted to long this, right? Because you could see the shift, but I didn't want to fight. SPX showed it much clearer, but I got this 49970 level, and I really didn't want to fight it, right? So you're going to see I got it. It's this purple line right here. What about the 5 minute? So we rip down, and then price comes up. It's coming up to this purple level, and I really wanted to see some strength above it, right? Then I would have been open to longs. If we could have got above 49970, maybe let the cloud form a little bit more, right? Like you can notice still red, and this is what you were talking about, Darren. I can't just make a long because buyers invalidated the cloud. I still need my structure. I still got to play my levels, right? And that really helped me here, because then price rips up, rejects 4997, falls below OP. I put on a short play right here, comes back down, tags it, catch a move, targeting the lows, right? But I skim as we come into this little left shoulder, because I'm always like, in my mind, I'm going, okay, is there a chance for a bullish rejection here? And if so, off what level, right? Maybe you get a inverse head and shoulders right here, right? So this is, this really helps me with taking profits, because if I'm in a short play, the last thing I want to see is a higher low, right? And I go, where would that higher low come in? I mean, look at this wick. Comes right, I got in this short, and this thing starts to sell off. I'm like, oh, this trade's going to be fire. Sucks right back up. I'm like, oh, yep, that's the market, right? And I'm like, okay, well, let's see if it can hold the cloud. And that's another thing this really helped me with, Darren, is like, where this used to maybe shake me out, right? Because the market looks like this. We don't know, like, if, this looks reversal. This used to be criteria for me back in the day for a long Bayesian candle, right? But now I'm going, listen, the cloud's still red. Let's see if it can hold. The 9 is still holding, right? and we're below open print. So I was able to hold this down to here, skimmed half my profits, and then stomped out once we ripped up back to OP. And then you can see this baby just started to shift. So
Yeah, I mean, the other reason you weren't taking along is because we were well below the 9 on the hourly time frame.
yes,
We were also well below the 50 exponential moving average.
yes.
So, and that 50 pretty well corresponds with the 9 on the hourly.
Yeah, look at that.
And so that's what I was watching, and that's another reason why I did not take any longs, even though we made a perfect double bottom, higher low in a demand zone. It was looking beautiful, and I waited all the way until the cloud turned green, and we were above the 50 exponential moving average, and that's when I entered long, and I went all the way up to previous day low. Absolute banger of a trade. Came from the higher time frame again, and my target came from the daily time frame.
Yeah.
Previous day low.
Yeah. Yeah. That's insane. You took that all.
Extremely simple trade.
Yeah.
And
Look at that.
This is the thing, man. Like, old me would have taken this higher low
Yeah.
out of demand.
Right.
I would have.
Yes.
100%. The problem is, we don't need to capture the
best move.
Bottom,
Yeah.
the very top.
Right.
Need to. That's not even what's going to give us the highest hit rate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's not repeatable.
Trade like this, but your win rate is still 30%.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's a fact. It's not repeatable, right? Like I forgot who said it. They're like, if you're trying to find the highs and the lows of each day, you're gonna constantly fail. And like you said, hit rate. Like, hit rate is not gonna be on your side if you're trying to find the perfect entry every time, right? Like, and I don't know. Like, maybe that's just where I'm at and what works for me. But yeah, it's literally just market structure, larger time frames, phenomenal job capturing that gap fill, the PDL. That was disgusting, dude. That was disgusting. I was able to hop in along down here. I missed this off open print, but this was beautiful, because if you look at open print here, this is like, and I want everyone to really see this, because this is what you need to see to understand the battle's happening, but it's shifting, right? Like that 49977. I mean, there were definitely sellers there. We're ripping into it. Like this right here, this price action is what we call the battle, right? This is like market's selling off, but buyers are starting to gain more demand, right? Like they're causing price to change due to the demand, right? It's causing a shift. So phenomenal move right here off open print, and then really just starts to rip, comes down. I love this candle right here. This candle is insane. I love how it tags that the cloud, and then just starts to soar. Great job holding that, Debo. That's a monster of a trade right there. It's disgusting.
Yep, and like we kind of saw, the exit criteria is breaking below the yellow line. Breaking below the 20 exponential moving average, that's when you should be exiting the trade. And it never broke below it, and so I held all the way up to previous day low, trimmed at 145, and then that was the last trade of the day.
Yeah, and just remember, Darren, when he says that, he's locking in his risk reward as well, though, right? He's not full. He's not full position going. Listen, I'm holding it until this breaks. Number one is locking in your equation, right? You're 1-to-1, you're 1-to-2, you're 1-to-3, right? Even if you buy 2 contracts and you want to lock in a 1-to-1 and let the other one go, that's up to you. There's no right way to do it, right? There's your way. It's what works for you. So, but yeah, it's a
run the numbers.
Yes.
And if the numbers aren't working out, maybe take 3 of your 5 contracts at 1-to-1.
Yeah.
And if that starts to work, then maybe switch something.
Yes.
Else. But it all depends on your hit rate, and you gotta look at your equity curve. And if your equity curve's not right, then you gotta change something up.
Yeah.
You gotta figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Then Friday was a great day. If that 1 hour, dude, look at this on Q's this was just, once again, and this is what I love about candlesticks, is what happens on the 5 minute happens on the 1 minute, what happens on the 1 hour, what happens on, you know what I'm saying? So learn, but what happens on different time frames is going to tell you a different story. So using the 1 hour here really helped me. You're going to see I have this bullish above level, right? This level right here, I'm going anything above 429.97, right? Anything above the previous day high, I really want longs. Targeting, where was my first target here? It was right here. Now, just so everyone knows where I'm getting 43222, it was a mega break and retest. Check this out. There's one right here. Boom. Right? And then there's another level, because that one was super far away. And what I usually do is I'll grab targets from, watch this. Oh yeah, that was it right there. Okay. So you see the break, and you see buyers are here. We break below this, come down. Now we're coming up for a retest. So that was like the initial target, right? It was right there, and then we were talking 43375, right? Which that top level. But that's very far away, right? So now you have to go, okay, where else is there going to be some volume or liquidity? And then I start, like, as price gravitates, I'll start grabbing end of days from previous days, right? So you're going to see there's an end of day right here. This is 49102, right? So this was, you gotta be able to look for, different sort of targets. And look how this worked right here. It was pretty insane. Okay, so open print, right? Establish here on Qs. Let me get SPY. SPY literally. Look at the structure here. I was so pumped going into the live because I'm like, okay, we're ripping. We ripped above 50655, right? We got 508. Any acceptance above 508, right? I got a bullish target of 510. Let me see if there was anything else. Oh yeah. So 50832. I think 50823. I think it's significant that we really didn't close below. Or we actually closed right on it, right? Which again, kind of amazes me. That end of day lines up perfectly with bearish structure, right? But yeah, that was kind of my methodology going into this. Okay. All right. So you're gonna see. Q's really rallied. SPY didn't rally as much, but it was still Friday presented a great opportunity to once again use the cloud, right? So you're going to see buyers really show up here on Qs. I really want to point out here the cloud is red, shifts, and then buyers start to defend, and then this thing rips. Darren got in this trade very early, which, bro, I kind of want to hear your thoughts on that, dude, because I think that was really good, bro. Like
I said, and I keep saying it, I would have never done this if I hadn't seen a demand zone from the higher time frames.
Right.
And I got that zone from, if you look back on,
let me see,
Wednesday.
Yes.
Wednesday, we lost. Yep, right there. That is where buyers lost control.
Yeah.
I traded this day. I shorted here as well, and I saw how aggressive this selling was at this level.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it was defended again at the end of the day on Wednesday.
Right.
We never got above that until pre-market.
Right.
Pre-market, we got above it, and now we came down into that level.
Break and retest.
The classic break and retest.
Yeah.
Like we've been trading for years.
Yeah.
And I saw buying show up there, and then we saw that really fast selling. Right? Remember how we were above the cloud and we were like, oh, we're going through the cloud.
Yeah.
And then I saw that red candle pull back, and as soon as that thing was eaten up,
yeah,
I realized
buyers were here.
This EMA cross is happening.
Yeah.
And I had a very, very good place to put my stop loss.
Yeah. I love that, bro. Yeah.
Candle.
Good. Yeah. Right here.
And
boom.
Whenever the EMA crosses
with the
zone of interest,
yeah,
then it's telling you that conditions are shifting inside of the zone that you've been watching from higher time frames,
Right.
and like you need to. It's not every single EMA cross that you should be entering. It's only the ones that hold significance
That's
from the
it.
trade that
Yeah.
you're entering, like
Yes.
we always study.
Yes.
And so that's why you can't just use this EMA cloud and not understand what's happening in higher time
Yes.
frames.
Right.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. You have to filter out where you should watch for the EMA cross to happen. And if it's happening in random places that you don't understand, well, you probably shouldn't be trading it.
Yeah.
The only reason I took it today is because I understood it, and it made sense on a larger time scale.
Yeah, that's fucking well put. And I think it's like what we always said, chart pattern in a zone, right? And what that really meant, like what that meant was is this bearish? Is this a bearish chart pattern? No. It's bullish. Is it in a zone or an area of interest? Yeah. Then should we short the market or go long? Go long. Like I like saying it that way because it simplifies it for me. It's like because sometimes I'll see things like this and I'll hesitate, right? And I'm like, and I know buyers are showing strength here. Like I understand it. And then I go, well, why am I hesitating? Well, I'm unsure. Well, what more do you need? You literally have critical level. It's being defended. You know what I'm saying? Um, really, that was I loved it, bro. I loved you entering right here. It was really good. Like in my mind, I'm going, oh well, 50823 is right there. I don't want to fight it, right? And this was a great opportunity for me to be like, hold on, right? Like, do I care about 50823? Or should I watch the area of interest? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that happens very often to us traders. We start to hesitate on plays because we go, oh, well, I understand what's happening here, but I don't want to, what if this happens? And instead of what if, it's even if, right? It's like, well, even if that happens, I've played the shift in conditions. I've played the higher time frame, and my stop is appropriate. Yeah, that was great, bro. That was phenomenal. That was a really good entry. I was pumped with that. It was very good.
Yeah, for anybody who for anybody who wants to start trading the cloud, you need to know what an aggressive cross EMA cross looks like, because there are some days when the cloud is tiny. It's not red, it's not green, it's
Yeah.
just kind of going flat.
Yeah.
And just because it crosses in that scenario, you can't go and say, oh, I think conditions are changing. You have to look when the cloud is very green and it's turning to very red. That's an aggressive shift, and that means that conditions are more likely to shift.
Yeah.
And yeah, it may happen early in the morning. You gotta study. You gotta back.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The only reason I trade it the way I do is because I back tested
Back.
it. And the other thing is, I've traded extremely, extremely small size this week. I did not just find this thing and then all of a sudden start going
Full. Yeah. Full. Yeah.
full position. I've traded much, much smaller contract size than I have the last couple months while I'm studying the strategy, and it's because I'm focusing on the process. That's it. I don't
Yeah.
care about profit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
It's
not care.
no. And once you start caring, you'll start making mistakes. Right, like once you start, and it's hard to say and kind of wrap your head around it. I do it all the time, right? If I'm pressed for money, I need this, I need that. You have to be hyper aware of how things change once the dollar amount changes. Once you can't scale up to make more money, you need to scale up to master your craft, right? There's differences, you know what I mean? It's not what you're doing, it's what you're thinking when you do it. And it's very important. And like you're saying, bro, like if I'm trying something new, the last thing I want to do is add more size, because then I might like things that I shouldn't, and I might hate things that I shouldn't, right? I might see it wrong. I may see it, in a manner that's now affected by a dollar amount. But yeah, this was a phenomenal day. We were able to put on a long off pre-market high here. I caught a really good move on SPX I want to talk about too, because I think it's important also, right? So we were battling. SPX gave us a beautiful open print retest right here as well. I didn't see this until later. But, open print, comes down, defends the level, rips up, comes down. And at this point, I'm going, okay, I'm like, price is holding trend very well. And this was just a classic, like, like what the cloud really helps me with is understanding when buyers still have the market, right? I was able to get a great entry down here in the cloud on an SPX long. It was a really quick trade. It was literally, I went back and watched it on the live. It was literally less than 4 minutes, right? Quick trade from here to here. Was able to grab a really nice move here on SPX. And that's the thing. You can do things like this. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have the proper tools in front of you, right? Like I've been using SPX a lot more to like scalp, right? Not on every trade, but I did see this as a great opportunity. We were well below the 9, right? That also helped me do it. So when price came down to the cloud and really ripped right into, like it had that space between price and the 9, right? That kind of gave me that extra confluence to take the market long back up into the 9, right? So it was a really good trade. I went long here. Then I added to the position right here off pre-market high on Qs, right? And that's kind of what I was trying to do this day. I was really trying to, and I'm trying to flex this muscle of adding to our positions. Took the market long here, took profits up here, added to the position here, got stopped out of that long, right? Which I probably could have held. I didn't want to because I didn't want to really give back any of what I made earlier. But instead of letting that bother me, I then took a long on SPX, right? So it was a really good way to then come back into the market. And then I longed QQQ on this breakout up here, right? And then the market came back down, tagged pre-market high, and I caught a great move to the upside as well. And then I might have been trading with a little bit of euphoria there because then I took another long on SPX and got stopped out. And then I did let my first initial runner on QQQs hold, which I was really pumped with, all the way to this candle right here, right? So I literally, like you said, Darren, I've been working on this, is letting that runner run, right, and see how long you could go, and flex that muscle, right? I mean, I really wanted 43272, didn't happen, so be it. You know what I mean? It was one contract. I'm really trying to program my brain to follow process, not emotion. You know what I mean? So it was a really good day. It was a really good day right here. I was really proud of it.
Yep, I really believe that if you follow that cloud and if you hold your contracts while we're staying above that level,
Yeah.
even though some days you may get stopped out and it may hurt, the days that you get paid
Yeah.
are gonna
You're gonna get paid. Yeah.
And it's not even going to be a losing trade. It's just going to be you didn't make as much.
Yes, exactly.
Like if you capture a bounce off the EMA cloud and you stop out when we break below, that's probably going to be a winning trade.
Yeah, it's gonna still be good.
90% of the time,
Yeah.
it's going to be a winning
If
trade. You're not even talking about accounting for a
well, and that's what I love, because how many times in the past, Darren, you long the market, right? Say the cloud's not here, you long the market off this green line. And then you go, I'm going to hold, I guess my stop out's going to be where I got in. Buyers could come back here. But now, if the cloud is holding trend, it's an early indicator of, listen, the trend is changing, you should get out. So say price falls below the cloud, forms structure, cloud turns red, you're not going to want to hold your long through that. You know what I mean? So like you're saying, you lock in profits even when you're stopping out, which is literally what you need to be doing.
Yes. Yep. Oh, I love the way you put that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, because so often, dude, I would long off, I think whatever level this was, right? Longed here. And now I'm going, my stop loss is going to be right below the candle I got in. And then thing goes away. And then, say you scale up here, right? And you sell 90% of your position up here. And now you let your one go, and you go, oh, well, I got to hold it till my line where I got in. And then next thing you know, you're holding all day, and you're missing moves, and you're just stuck in, like, you know what I mean? Excuse me, it happened to me. It used to happen to me all the time. So, yeah, it was a really good week, man. I'm really proud of the way we traded. I've been talking to everybody on the team. Everyone's doing really good. I'm proud of everyone on this team right now. Like, everyone's putting in the work that's needed to be done, and I love seeing it. This is the environment that we want HPT to be about. So Yeah, I'm going to post this on YouTube, guys. Anybody go through, watch it. If anyone has any questions or wants to use the EMA Cloud, message me or Darren. It's on Darren's website. But I'm sure he'll just give it to you over message. Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, I should have posted that
Yeah,
on my website. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go put that in the chat. Should I put it
yeah,
in resources?
yeah. Throw it right in resources. That's perfect. And
Okay,
it,
cool.
and
I'm gonna fill out everyone.
And the biggest thing is Darren said it. He goes, dude, backtest it. Like the reason why we use the 9D EMA the way we do, the clouds the way we do, structure the way we do, supply and demand the way we do, like the reason we use anything is because we literally go through our journal and backtest every trade we took. Not necessarily just backtest it over last week's price action. No, backtest it over the trades you've taken, because that's going to make it very clear to you, and it's going to really help reprogram your automatic mind. So when you are under pressure and you want to put on a stupid trading error, you're going to use your indicator or whatever tool that you're backtesting, and it's going to help you not make that decision. So yeah, go through, backtest it, and everybody have a phenomenal week. I will see you guys on the Discord Monday.
All right, let's crush it.